Good afternoon, girls.
Good afternoon, sir.
In our last class, we learned about First World War. Today,
Yes.
we learn about
Second
Second World War that started in the year 1939 and ended in 1945. And like First World War, this war also had huge repercussions on the whole world. Again, the maps of the world, the maps of the countries were redrawn. Like, for example, India became independent in the year 1947.
Yes.
With due respect, Gandhi ji, Nehru ji, Azad, everyone fought it. And earlier also many freedom fighters fought it. Like Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, many were there. Badruddin Tayyab ji. But India became independent because of Second World War. As a result of Second World War, fallout. Not just India, but some 50, 60, 70 other countries also got independent. And not everywhere Gandhiji was there, right?
Yes.
But they also became independent. That shows that many countries became independent as a result of Second World War. So it is very important to know about Second World War, not just for your syllabus, but for your understanding of present issues also. Right? So to begin with, what were the reasons for First World War? For example, can anybody, what were the reasons for First World War? No, I'm talking about First World War. Aggressive nationalism, imperialism, Balkan politics, secret alliances, right? Imperialism. These were all the reasons for Second World War also, but that added another some more reasons. For example, Treaty of Versailles was a reason for Second World War. Apart from all those reasons, some extra reasons. Treaty of Versailles was a reason, and after First World War, the rise of fascism and Nazism, that was also a reason, and that was nothing but that was a fallout indirectly of First World War. In a way, First World War itself is a big reason for Second World War. So to begin with, when in Treaty of Versailles, Germany was asked to give land compensation, and Germany was asked not to have huge army. So Germans were not happy about it. Common people of Germany, they were not happy. They were feeling humiliated, and they were rightly feeling that humiliation, isn't it? Because just imagine you are a German and your country is asked to pay so much money for hundreds of, for many years, and you are taking your colonies, you are taking your possessions, money, and you are asked not to have military, strong military. So people were not feeling nice about it, right? So that feeling of negativity or hatred towards these Western nations, not UK and France mainly, and that feeling grew, and as a result of that feeling, fascism emerged in Italy and Nazism emerged in Germany, right? So how it happened, we'll talk about it. So because of Treaty of Versailles and that condition, economic condition of Germany was not so good. For example, prices went up, people lost their jobs, right? Economic crisis was there, but that economic crisis became very severe as a result of Great Depression. Great Depression means, what is depression? Economic depression. In America, stock market collapsed, New York market collapsed. As a result, there was a big economic crisis in America. That economic crisis not just affected America, but the entire world, including Germany. As a result, the economic problems of Germany increased, right? So, just for example, the leaders of that time, Hitler did not emerge till 1929 as of now. So, the government there tried to solve the economic crisis by increasing, by printing more currency notes. But that is not the solution. If you print more, you will devalue your currency. So as a result of it, just imagine a scenario. If you want to buy a loaf of bread, you needed to carry money in carts. Just imagine, that was the level of inflation or mehengai in that time. So things were very bad. They were snatched lands, and they had to give money to them, and they could not have strong army. And now this situation where you cannot buy. So people were very, despair. Like they were hopeless. Like there was no hope. There was no silver lining, right? In that condition, Hitler, he was a very, good orator. He used to give speeches in a club. And actually Hitler, during First World War, Hitler was a soldier, normal soldier. He was a courier. Means in army, he used to carry messages from one place to another. In that war, he met an accident and he lost his eyes also for some time. It was revived. There was some accident. And he was given an award that is called as Iron Cross also for fighting war. So what I'm trying to say, Hitler saw the First World War as a soldier. He suffered, and he was very nationalistic from the beginning. So he had that feeling of, to make Germany great again and all. So, and he was a good orator. As a result, actually Hitler was sent to a club where people used to sit and talk about politics. So that time government thought that something is conspiring against the government here. Just go and spy there. Understand? So Hitler used to go to that club and he used to listen to their speeches, and he started taking part in the speeches, and people started liking him and his speeches. And from that club he emerged as a big leader. He formed his Nazi party. The translation of Nazi party in German language, like if you translate that German word into English, that comes as German Workers' Party. Nazi is the short form of German Workers' Party in German language, right? Nazi. So he emerged. So when he emerged, initially he got only 2% votes, but because of that Great Depression effects and that feeling of alienation and isolation among Germans, that gave rise to him, and he came to power in the year 1933, right? So when he came to power, there was an incident that is called as Reichstag fire. Reichstag means it is a lower house of German parliament. Good. So that when that incident happened, he used that for political purpose. Politicians do that. If some incidents happen, they take advantage of that. In history, there are so many examples. In recent history also, there are many examples like that. So when Reichstag fire happened, Germany blamed Jews and communists for that. He created hatred towards them and said that I need special powers to deal with this extraordinary situation. Understand? So finally, he from an elected democratic leader, he became a dictator, and German parliament passed a law that is called as Enabling Act. Means that Enabling Act gave Hitler the power to become a dictator, and now he is the sole leader of Germany. No other, he was an undisputed leader, unquestioned leader. So he became very big in Germany. He became bigger than Germany, understand? Right? So when that happened, he promised better future for Germans, and he created jobs, and he revived the economy of German people, so German country, and he started breaking the Treaty of Versailles conditions. So to revive the economy, what he did, he started a new car, very speed car, that is Volkswagen car, right?
Yes.
And to run that car on the streets or roads of Germany, he needed big roads, so he made big roads also. And as a result, people got jobs for that, to work in that industry and to make roads. And he gave emphasis on armament factories also. He started making arms. So they were making huge arms again. They were building their army again. So when they were making those weapons, suppose They needed wars. If there are no wars, or if you are not using that weapon, if you suppose if you are not using at all this marker, what will happen? The makers of marker will stop,
Yes.
and the people will lose their job who are working in this marker factory. You understand? Similarly, if you are not using your weapons, then that industry will see decline. So Hitler needed small wars for that. So what he did, Hitler, Germany, started occupying other areas which Germany lost after First World War as a treaty of Versailles. So first he integrated all German-speaking areas of Europe. What could be the German-speaking areas? Austria. He entered Austria, and everywhere, all German areas, German-speaking places, there was sympathy towards Hitler, right? So they all became one. After that, he eyed some other non-German areas also. After First World War, Poland state was created from German Empire. So now Poland was a different country after First World War. Now Hitler wanted access to a particular sea after Poland, right? So Hitler asked permission from Poland government to give them access to Danzig port. There was a port called Danzig port. So they denied. As a result, Germany attacked Poland. So before that, UK and France adopted a policy called appeasement policy, to make Hitler happy. Why they were doing that? Because USSR and these countries were having divergent, different ideologies, and they did not like communism of USSR and socialism of USSR. They wanted USSR, they wanted USSR socialism and communism to be stopped there only. They did not want it to spread to other countries. So they thought that we also hate communism and Hitler also hate communism. So better make use of Hitler against communism and USSR. So for that, initially they neglected some activities of Hitler. Okay, let him do appeasement. Let him do, because he's our bet for communism. He can stop communism, he can fight. So initially they ignored that. But they ignored some small things, but they could not tolerate this Poland attack. When Hitler attacked Poland, that was a big thing. Right? Understand?
Yes.
So that was the trigger of Second World War. Starting point.
Yes.
Trigger. What was the trigger for First World War? Remember?
Yes.
What?
That's Soviet.
Yes.
Yes,
Good. The killing of Archduke Frank Ferdinand was the trigger of First
World
World
War.
War. But the trigger of Second World War is Germany's attack on Poland. That started Second World War in the year 1939. So when that attack happened, UK intervened from Poland's side and started fighting Germany. With that, France also,
Yes.
right? So this is how First World War or Second World War started. Before that, Germany, as we discussed, that fascism and Nazism are synonyms. Like in that term, that ideology is based on hatred towards others, extreme nationalism based on hatred towards others. For example, in Germany, Hitler hated Jews. Jews, you understand?
Yes, Yahudi.
Jews, Yahudis, yeah. Hitler hated Jews, Hitler hated communists, Hitler hated handicapped people, Hitler hated gypsies, Hitler hated homosexuals. That man was full of hatred. It's not good, right?
Yes.
It's not hate anybody just on the basis of birth, right? Right? If you are a Muslim, it's not your great contribution. You are a Muslim because you are born in a Muslim family, maybe. Right? Like that, Jews are there mostly. Jews are Jews because they are born in a Jewish family. Just on the basis of birth, you cannot hate others.
Yes.
But he hated them. So as a result, what happened? He used to label them as enemies of Germany, traitors of Germany. Because of you, we lost the war. In First World War, we lost because of you. So he used to blame them, and he started punishing them. And he had huge concentration camps where they used to put, and he created innovative ways to kill people in concentration camps. So, there is a term for killing of Jews by Hitler during Second World War. Anybody? There is a term for killing of Jews. Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Holocaust is the process of killing of Jews by Hitler. Anyway, so when UK started fighting Germany, France also intervened the next day. They started fighting. When that happened, already Japan was very active in this specific area of the world. So Japan was making colonies. Japan was attacking Korea, and Japan was attacking China. So many. So like that, Japan also was an imperialistic force. Imperial, making colonies and all. Imperial, big. So Japan was also doing that. Italy was earlier part with them, but Italy was not happy with what they gave Italy after First World War. They promised a lot, but they did not give them according to their promise. So Italy was also trying to spread its colonies, especially in Africa. And when that happened, Italy was not happy. Italy was ruled by a leader called Mussolini. He was a fascist. He also hated people. And so all three, they became friends, and they were called as Axis powers. Axis powers, and they were
Allied.
Allied powers. So they UK joined, France joined, here Japan joined, Italy joined, and not just the fight was going on in Europe, but in Pacific and in Africa,
Yes.
right? In Africa, they all had colonies. So colonies started fighting. So this is how it became a world war.
Yes.
Very soon, within no time, Germany captured almost all Europe except UK, right? Germany, initially it looked that Germany will capture the whole world because Germany had built a strong army, and it was led by a very charismatic leader called Hitler, and it was having new weapons. So it looked that Germany will win, but something happened that changed the world. We'll learn about it. So during that time, Hitler, after capturing France also, and other European areas, but it could not defeat UK because if you see the map, UK is yes above that European landlocked
Yes.
country, not landlocked country, land connected countries, but UK is above that, and there is a sea between them. Yeah, yeah. I
Mediterranean.
think So the English Channel also.
Northern Sea.
Okay. So when that happened, Germany had huge navy. UK. So Hitler could not defeat UK. In that process, London was destroyed, Berlin was destroyed because of aerial bombing, right? So when that happened, Hitler for a while thought that, look, he's proving of tough nut to crack. UK. Britishers are proving tough nut, so we should stop it for a while. But meanwhile, what we will do? We will attack USSR, right? Somewhere here in the map. Although before this World War II began, USSR and Germany had a pact, no war pact. Will not attack each other. But when Hitler attacked Poland, according to their deal, they divided Poland between them. Half USSR kept and half Germany kept. But still, although they had this pact, Germany attacked USSR. Why? Because it landed, it needed more lands, more resources. Why? Because whatever the economic model he adopted, for that he needed more resources, like raw material,
Yes.
right? So where from he will get? He thought that USSR is a very big land. Even now Russia is very big,
Yes.
right? Russia is the largest
Country in the
country in
world.
the world, and it had some more countries in USSR like Ukraine, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. So many Central Asian countries and East European countries were part of Europe. So that was much bigger than what we see today.
Yes.
So Hitler thought that, oh, it's huge land, I can have whatever I want from this USSR. So he attacked. So initially, the tactic which Hitler used in war that time is called as Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg. Yani, Blitzkrieg means they attack suddenly at a particular point, particular targeted area, and they surprise them with their speed, right?
Yes.
So that proved, very successful against France and other countries. He did the same thing, and initially it looked that Germany will win the war, but USSR's, Russia's winter is very harsh.
Yes.
So after some time, and Hitler, got delayed in taking some decision of sending their army to USSR. As a result, he lost 2 precious months, and winter came that time, exactly when they were fighting. Winter came, and USSR soldiers could not digest that winter, could not resist that, German soldiers, yes, could not resist that winter. This operation of Germany invading USSR is called as Operation Barbarossa.
Yes.
Ever heard?
No.
Operation Barbarossa. Initially it was going smoothly, but because of winter, it proved a disaster. Lakhs of German soldiers were killed. And there was a war called the War of Stalingrad that proved a turning point in Second World War. After that, everything went against Hitler. Before that, everything was going in favor of Hitler. But that War of Stalingrad changed everything. Stalingrad is a city. It is named after Stalin, the second leader of Russia. Right? You know, that's that. So Stalingrad war, they lost, and winter, as a result, the supply chain was not, could not be intact. As a result, lakhs of Soviet soldiers were killed or they surrendered. And now USSR did not stop there only. You entered into our territory, now we'll come to your territory. Understand?
Yes.
So USSR entered in the war. Before that, USSR was not part of Second World War, but because Hitler attacked USSR, they also intervened. And Red Army. Red Army means Communist USSR army is called as Red Army. Red Army counter-attacked Germany, and they entered Berlin, and they captured area. Just before German soldiers were Soviet soldiers were reaching Hitler, he committed suicide in his bunker with his wife of one day and some other. Eva Braun, yes, Eva Braun, and some other colleagues. He committed suicide. This is how war ended in Europe, this part of the world.
Europe.
But the war was continuing here, and Japan was another big player in Second World War. USA was not interested in the war initially. USA was interested in trade, commercial, business, and it was flourishing. That was the time when USA was a sleeping giant, a big power sleeping, and it will very soon emerge and rule the world, right? So USA was not was neutral in the war, but something happened that changed USA, and USA ended its neutrality. What was that? Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, a naval base in Pacific Ocean of USA. You remember why America joined First World War? Right, Germany sunk USA ships, so America intervened in the war from Allied power side. This time also, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, And as a result, America joined the war from Allied powers side. Right? So, remember this.
Yes.
Right? Pearl Harbor. It's a very important event of history. And there are many movies made on this subject. Pearl Harbor attack. You can see some. It was huge. You cannot imagine how big that attack was. So, if not thousands, hundreds of American soldiers were killed in that attack. And that angered America, and America intervened in the war. Finally, that also gave a push. So, when Hitler died in Germany, committed suicide, at the same time, Mussolini of Italy also, was captured by his opponent, and he was also killed. So, fascist leader Mussolini, Nazi leader Germany was killed, or they committed suicide. But the war was continuing in Pacific area, where Japan was very active. Japan's king was Hirohito.
Yes.
So when USA intervened in the war, it found it was like they gave an ultimatum that now your friends in Europe are defeated now. So only you cannot do anything alone. So you also surrender. But Germany refused to surrender and kept fighting. As a result, America made nuclear weapons that time. So they decided to, nuke them, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So they dropped nuclear bombs. Names, yeah.
Hiroshima
Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the cities of Germany. And why they attacked? Because they were the cities where they used to produce huge weapons and all. Armament factories were there, industrial cities. They were industrial cities. So what were the names of
Little Boy, Fat
Little
Man.
Boy and Fat Man?
Yes.
Were the
Yes.
Little Boy and Fat Man
was a boy.
were the bombs
Yes.
names, code name also. Yeah. So when they dropped, everything destroyed. They were stunned.
Yes.
Just imagine, right? The power of Little Boy and Fat Man that destroyed the German cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, even now the effects of that can be seen, and they were what nuclear weapons we have today in 2023 are 1,000 times more powerful than Fat Man and Little Boy. Just imagine if we use today nuclear weapon, any country, or by some mistake something is happening, the whole world will get destroyed. So better not to use it, right?
Yes.
Use it, nuclear power, but to create energy for positive and peaceful purposes, we can use it. Nuclear technology, not for destruction. There are so many countries. Recently in Pakistan, some fights were going on. Imran Khan was arrested.
Yes.
So that is a cause of concern for us, for the whole world. Why? Because if Pakistan is a nuclear state, if bad people capture Pakistan, and if they have nuclear weapon, and if they use it irresponsibly, what will happen? The whole world will get destroyed.
Yes.
You and me, everybody, right?
Yes.
So with the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan surrendered and World War II ended. America established a constitutional monarchy in Japan. They kept King Hirohito as king, but the real power was given to a democratic setup, and America was indirectly controlling them. Right. So this is how World War II ended, and it had huge consequences for the entire world. Right.
Yes.
So now we'll talk about the consequences of the war. First, it was more destructive than First World War. Roughly, some 3 crore people got killed. I'm not very perfect in that. 3 crore people died from direct result of war, and many more died because of other reasons related to war. For example, famine, Bengal famine. Why? Because from Bengal, everything, all food was going to, grains were going to war front. So people were having nothing to feed themselves.
87,000 people.
No?
87,000 people died.
87,000 Indian soldiers died. Not all. In more than 2.5 crores died, and crores were, rendered homeless, and cities destroyed, economy destroyed, factories destroyed. So you have to, rebuild the whole thing. It's not an easy task, right? All economic collapse, but it happened. And so now, talking about the consequence of the war, after World War, they were very tired, UK and France. They were very tired of the war. They were spent, means they lost all energy, zeal, resources, power, morality, everything to keep their colonies intact. Right? So they left many countries as promised, or they were not in a position to keep their colonies. That process is called as decolonization. So first consequence of World War II is decolonization. Means they made their colony very long back and now they are leaving. Like they left India in 1947. Like that they left from many other countries, UK and France. So first is decolonization. Remember? Colony, colonization, decolonization, opposite of it. What could be the other fallout or consequence? They lost the power as superpowers of the world. So now, that status they lost. UK and France, and new superpowers emerged.
Yes.
USA and USSR.
Britain.
Change of balance of power happened after Second World War. And after that, there was a Cold War between USA and USSR. That is also a fallout of Second World War. And many things changed in that Cold War also. For example, Korea was divided into two. South Korea, North Korea. That is in Cold War. Right? So first consequence is decolonization. Second is change in balance of power. And formation of UNO. United Nations Organization. And still UNO is intact. League of Nations could be there only for 20-25 years. But this UNO is still there since 76 years. Right? It was founded in 1945, I guess, in the year that ended. So UNO is as old as India is old. India is 75. Maybe UNO is 2 years older than India. Right?
77.
Three consequences we learned. What are they?
Formation of UN.
Decolonization, change
Balance of power.
Yeah. So it had huge consequence. I'm ready to take questions if you can ask anything about Second World War. You understood everything clearly?
Yes, sir.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions about Second World War? Any questions? No? Okay, so with that we'll end, and if it's there in your chapter, we'll learn about Cold War also. If not, this Second World War had different implications on different countries. So what happened, and in detail we will check what happened in India as a result of Second World War. For example, when war was going on, there were talks between Britishers and Indian Congress leaders, Muslim League leaders about, Britishers were seeking support from them. Like they were fighting war and they wanted India's support, Indian leaders' support. So they were not ready for it. As a result, formation of Pakistan as a result of Second World War.
Yes.
India was one, right? India and
Yes.
Pakistan were one. But something happened, like Congress refused to support Second World War, and as a result, Britishers wanted to teach them a lesson. They arrested and they encouraged Muslim League, and Muslim League started Pakistan movement. So that was also a result of what?
Second World War.
Second World War. When Second World War was going on, Congress leader Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he was not happy with Gandhiji's policies. So his idea was to take the help of Germany and Japan and fought against British in India and kick them out. Right?
Yes.
That was also, many things happened in India as a result or during Second World War. Ever heard Subhash Chandra Bose?
Yes.
Right? So we'll learn all those things in our next classes. So for now, we'll stop this class. Right? Thank you.